Number 6. The Sharp 70GK 4245K, £469. Yes, you heard that right. 70 inches. That's a size most brands barely bother making these days. Everyone jumped from 65 straight to 75, so that shelf sits half empty. And Sharp walked into it with a price that undercuts almost every 65-inch set in the shop. The obvious assumption is that something has been gutted to get there. 3 publications went looking for what? What Hi-Fi tested the 70GK 4245K, £489, and called it ridiculously good value. Trusted Reviews called it the big screen bargain of the year. And John Archer, 25 years into reviewing televisions, summed it up for Expert Reviews as great smarts, good pictures, puny price. Inside there is Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, the TiVo platform, and freely, so BBC, ITV, Channel 4 and Channel 5 come in live over your broadband, with no aerial at all. Now the honest part. The panel is 60 Hz, so console gamers should look elsewhere. The base is thin enough that a soundbar stops being optional, and the feet sit very wide apart, so measure your unit before you order or you will be buying furniture too. But if you want a genuinely huge screen for the football and the streaming, nothing else at this money gets close. Number 5. The TCL P7K range, and specifically the 85-inch, the 85 P7K. Here is the odd thing. The press adores this range. What Hi-Fi gave it 4 stars, which put it through the lab, and both Trusted Reviews and Expert Reviews covered it. Every one of them reviewed the 43-inch. Almost nobody has written about the 85 inches, for £899. It is the same television, scaled up. Quantum dot color, which most sets this cheap skip entirely. Google TV, and all 4 HDR formats, which is more than the flagship Sony, Samsung and LG sets manage between them. Why the shops do not push it is no mystery. 85 inches is the aisle where they would rather sell you something costing $3,000. What you give up is real though. There is no Freely and no Freeview Play, so live television means the aerial and the individual catch-up apps. The panel is 60 Hz, and what Hi-Fi? Spotted slight backlight jetting in dark scenes. For a family who mostly stream and want the wall filled, that is an easy trade. For anyone with a PS5, it is not. Number 4. Amazon makes a mini LED television now. The model is the Fire TV Omni Mini LED, and the 55-inch carries the code ML55F700. I understand the reaction because a shopping website building a proper backlight system sounds like a joke. Except 5 publications have tested this one, and they broadly agree. What Hi-Fi gave the 55-inch 4 stars. T3 called it a huge step up. Expert Reviews said Amazon had turned to the bright side, and Trusted Reviews ran it for a month alongside the Panasonic, measuring input lag with a Leo Bodnar tester and brightness with Spears and Munsell patterns. What is inside? Mini LED with local dimming across hundreds of zones, 144 Hz gaming mode, all 4 HDR formats, and freely built in. The list price on the ML55 F700 is £850, but it has been down to $639. And because it is Amazon, it will go there again. Patience is worth real money on this one. Then, the compromises were consistent across the reviews. Color tones that drift, haloing around bright objects on dark backgrounds, and motion blur in fast content. Not one for the film purist then. But for someone already living inside Prime Video and Alexa, it holds up. Number 3. The Hisense U7Q Pro. In Britain, that is the 55 U7 QT UK Pro and the 65 U7 QT UK Pro. And the codes matter here, because the plain U7Q without the Pro is a different television. Count the HDMI ports. There are 4, and all 4 are HDMI 2.1 at the full 48 gigabits. Most televisions at this money give you 2, and one of those goes to your soundbar. So if you own a console, a PC, and a Blu-ray player, this is the difference between plugging everything in and unplugging something every time. Add 560 dimming zones on the 65-inch, 165 Hz panel, an input lag that AV forums measured at 5.5 milliseconds at 120 Hz. £699 for the 55, $899 for the 65. T3 called it sensational value. Trusted reviews called it a scorcher. And here I have to be straight with you, because the reviewers did not all land in the same place. What Hi-Fi found it dazzlingly good at times, but said it could not always keep it together. Inconsistent pictures, occasional dimming slips, color draining out of dark scenes. Expert reviews ran full Kalman measurements, praised the accuracy in filmmaker mode, and still concluded it was held back by careless niggles. Both of those things can be true at once. Flagship connectivity, mid-range polish, which makes it easy to recommend for gaming and sport, and harder if you watch dark drama with the lights off. Number 2. The TCL C7K. The 65-inch is the 65 C7K UK. This one comes with a sentence I did not expect to read. When What Hi-Fi handed the C7K its 2025 award, the write-up noted that it had beaten rivals from Samsung, Sony, and Hisense. Then it added something else. It also got the better of its more premium sibling, the C8K. The cheaper TCL beat the dearer TCL, in print, in the most respected AV publication in the country. The C7K took 2 What Hi-Fi awards that year, and the T3 award for Best Mid-Range Television in 2026. The 65 C7K UK sits at around £789, and it is stocked right now at Richer Sounds and Currys. QD Mini LED, 144 Hz with variable refresh, rate, Bang and Olufsen speakers, Google TV. The catch matters in Britain. There is no Freely and no Freeview Play. The catch-up apps are all there individually through Google TV, but if you want a live channel guide without an aerial, this is not the set for you. And that, rather than the picture, is the real reason it misses so many British buying lists. Number 1. Panasonic. The W95B range, the 55-inch is the TV55 W95B EB, and it starts at £899. For a generation of British buyers, that badge meant something. Panasonic made the plasmas enthusiasts still talk about. Then it slid off the average shortlist, and today a lot of people could not tell you whether it still makes televisions at all. It does, and the W95B is the one nobody mentions. Inside sits the HCX Pro AI MK2 processor. That is the exact chip Panasonic puts in the Z95B, its flagship OLED, which costs more than double. Around it there is mini LED backlighting, 144 Hz for gaming, every HDR format there is, and both Fire TV and Freely, so no aerial required. Expert reviews tested it and called it one of the most well-rounded mini LED models around. AV forums and trusted reviews landed in broadly the same place. And trusted reviews wrote one line about the brand that explains this whole video better than I can. Panasonic, they said, makes some of the best televisions and is not always very good at telling anyone about it. The limitations are worth knowing. Only 2 of the 4 HDMI inputs carry the advanced gaming features. It is not the brightest mini LED in its class, and you will not find it on a plinth at the front of the shop, because Panasonic does not pay for that. What you get instead is flagship processing and full British broadcast support at the price of a mid-range Chinese set. So there they are. 6 model numbers, not 6 brands, because the badge on the front tells you almost nothing on its own. None of them is perfect, and I have told you where each one falls down. The Sharp is 60 Hz. The Amazon drifts on color. The Hisense divides the reviewers. The TCL skips Freely. The Panasonic keeps its best gaming behind 2 ports. Now I want the other side. What is in your living room right now? What did the shop try to sell you instead? And did you take it? The most expensive television in the shop is the easiest one to find. The best one for your money is usually a shelf away,